we don't have a car payment. We don't have a lot of other, like, we don't have cable expenses. We don't have, well, right now we don't have electricity payments or water payments.
We'll get to that.
Or mortgage, but we will have some of those things next year. You have to manage your money well by the way you make food. Like, if you want to have nice steaks one night, you might have to scrimp a little by having oatmeal for breakfast some days. But you are still able to do those things with the money that we have.
So you two are here, and Sister Abby just took a quick break. You both live off-grid.
Correct.
You don't have running water to your homes. You don't have electricity coming into your homes. You don't have, flush toilets or anything like that. You have to do all of that yourself. Is this not just horrible? I mean, talk about that.
Well, it is a little bit hard. It's not terrible at all. It is a lot easier than I thought it would be. We do have to pump our own water. We do have to dump out waste buckets, wash dishes by hand by heating up water on the stove. Can't just run a faucet to get hot water. There's a lot of dirt in our houses. We have to sweep like twice a day to keep the dirt down. We deal with bugs, but we find ways to deal with those naturally.
It's not horrific. It's not hard or horrible. Neither one. The whole point of what we're doing right now is, again, to save things. We don't want to have, or we didn't want to have water payments and electric and mortgage and everything, so that a larger chunk of the money that is coming into us can be spent on other things. And I've been married a really long time, and I've been housekeeping a really long time. And I have decided that there are certain things I just am tired of paying other people for.
Like
a mortgage, like electricity, like water. If I can provide it for myself, and I'm getting it from the Father, Yahweh provides these things for us, and He provides well when you want to be depending upon Him, I would rather do that. And it also is something about life in general. I want to be fully engaged in my life. And so if I know exactly how much water I need and how much water I want to use to take a bath and everything, I will take care of all of that. It's personal responsibility, and I enjoy that. And I enjoy interacting with the Father in the way that He does provide these things for us. I'm thrilled to death with all the blackberries we see. We know they're coming, and it's going to be great to just go out there and pick them right off the bush and make whatever we want with them and know that Yahweh provided it all. And so it is money management, and the money management is deciding what you don't want to pay for and what would be easier and more beneficial for you to provide for yourself.
Okay, so something that gets to the modern American woman and her self-actualization and all that. I know that your husbands are the heads of your household. And so I guess I'd just like to hear you guys talk about that a little bit, and I don't want to really prime the pump too much on that one. Why don't you just talk about how horrible or good or whatever that is? Go ahead.
From a lot of women, they view a stay-at-home wife and mother as somebody who's completely lost her identity. And I don't quite understand that in a lot of aspects because, yes, I'm a wife and I'm a mother, but I'm still Abby. Like, I don't lose my identity. Does my identity change in some ways? Do character traits change? Yes. Am I more of a mama bear now than I used to be? Yes. And that's saying a lot because I used to be a really big mama bear over my friends and family. But, I will do anything for my family. But the fact that so many women don't understand that you can still be you and be a stay-at-home wife and mother is beyond me because I have found so much more joy and peace and blessing through being a stay-at-home mom and wife than I could ever imagine. I mean, I am able to spend all day with my family, and that is something that I don't think most women can understand the true blessing that is because...
So who's the head of your household?
My husband.
And how does that work for you?
In what way do you say?
Well, because a lot of women out there are like, I'm not going to let that man tell me what to do, and they look at you, or they hear because I know how you guys, I mean, obviously I know how you are, and when you say, my husband is the head of the household, that it's like, oh, okay, so you're downtrodden, beaten, shut up, sit in the corner, make me some food, and get pregnant kind of thing.
We make jokes about that? Yes. They're, like, if you were to sit around a conversation, like, you would probably hear, hey, woman. No, my husband doesn't say that. He knows that I don't like it, and we've had discussions about that. But I am, and we became one flesh when we got married. He is the head of our household, but we are still one. We make decisions as one. He doesn't cast me off just because I am his wife. Like, he doesn't throw away my opinions or anything like that. When we have an important decision to make, and we've had many of them, including moving to where we live now, it was a joint decision. We both talked about it. We both prayed about it. We did it together and separately, so that we both knew that the decisions that we were making weren't just one person, and it wasn't a 50-50 situation. It was 100 and 100. When you get married, you are one. There's no splitting of that.
Agree. And, wow, okay, let's put it this way. Because I've been at this a really long time. Do I look downtrodden? Have you seen any of our videos about the kind of things I do? And I don't want it to sound like me, but I want to say, as a wife, I have been able to be fully actualized and realized, and I can name off some of the things I can do, and then you tell me if you think I was boxed in and kept down. I can change tire on a car. I can take care of all kind of animals, horses and goats. I have the ability to give shots to all these animals, including dogs, horses, goats. I can knit, I can sew, I can shoot, I can cook, I can chop wood, I can go fishing, I can go hunting, I can sew things, I've made quilts. Do I need to go on?
EMT, firefighter, I mean...
Hang on, that's coming. Because I raised my kids and I learned some of these things. I learned how to weave. We learned how to weave things, and we made belts and stuff while we were doing homeschooling. And so I did all of that, and then they got older and graduated and moved away and did different things. And when I was 42, I got a national certification for Firefighter 1, which means I can go anywhere in the country and join a volunteer fire department and already have certification. And at 44, I got EMT certified. And that requires you to do all the courses and pass the state test. So am I downtrodden? Am I beaten? Am I less of a woman because I was the mom and of my kids and the wife of my husband? You guys decide. What do you think?
That's a hard thing. Those are both hard things to come after, but
She's all that. She's all that.
Marriage is a partnership. Yes, my husband does make the final decision, but I willingly submit to that, and he does prayerfully consider my opinion in all the decisions that he makes. We teach each other things. He teaches me how to work on cars, and I teach him how to sew. He sewed our son a pair of pants, and he has. I've also taught him cake decorating, and he teaches me how to make fires. And it's just a partnership where we teach each other things and both consider each other's opinions in everything that we do.
Amen. And your husband is your protection. That's something I know we all agree on. I would rather have him be the wolf at my door than me have to be that wolf. Because he's got a whole lot more skills and a whole lot more instinct, knowledge, and drive to do that than I do. So that's just another aspect of letting your husband be a husband.
And one other thing that kind of brought up. My husband will take my opinion and advice over people and about people that we don't know, because he understands that as a woman, my ability to judge character quickly is better than his. So that's one situation where he will come to me and seek me out and say, what are your thoughts on this person? Do you get a good vibe? Do you get a bad vibe? Do you think this person is going to do harm against our family in any form in the future, whether that be whatever, not just physical harm, but any sort of harm or damage? And he will come to me and he will take my intuition, I guess, the woman's intuition, into serious consideration in those situations, because it's been proven. I've done it multiple times to multiple people that have ended up hurting our family in one form or fashion, and he understands that. And so there are times where, even as a woman, my husband will defer his head of the household in certain situations to me, and he also does that with certain things around the house too. If there's something that he knows I know better, he'll defer to me in that situation.
All right, so out of all the videos on the channel, there will probably be more percentage of women watching this one than other ones because the picture is going to be three sisters sitting there, if nothing else. You know, these are good women that are watching it, right? And they're probably a smattering of Israelite women, a good chunk of good Christian women, and then just regular women, you know, out there watching it. What do you have to say to these women? And that's what we're going to close with.
I'll start. I will say to women, I understand that every situation is different. What we're saying here is what works best for our family. And I understand that there are situations where the wife and the mother has to go out and work. I'm not discrediting those women who have to provide for their family, but I do believe that in a traditional marriage, it's best for a wife to stay at home and be a stay-at-home wife and mother, because there is something to be said for having that woman in the house, constantly taking care of it. And I mean, there's joy and blessing to be found from that, but I don't discredit the women who really do have to go out into the workforce, and I actually admire those women to a great degree, because I don't think I could leave my children and do that, but they have to, because they have to provide for their kids in certain situations.
Okay.
What do you have to say to the women watching this video?
What do I have to say to those women? I think it's a trick of the world to make you feel less by stealing what is rightfully yours. We are unique. We are the only humans on the planet that can have children. Your husbands, any man can't. So that is the one thing about you that makes you a unique person. And you are also uniquely blessed and given all the gifts to be a good mom and a wife. And if you subject that, if you choose to take the idea that the world is trying to sell you, that you would be better, more fulfilled, going outside of your home and spending 8 hours a day. Because I want y'all to think about this. You will spend 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day sitting in whatever career thing you're doing. And even if you get to move around, you are in that limited space and sphere and world. And you're going to do that day in and day out for years and years. Talk to a lot of men who have to do that because that's their role. They don't always enjoy it. They find it a trap. And they don't get to see the people they love. And so you're going to sell what you have, which is the ability to have almost total control of your day in and out and the things that you do and the way you plan it. And you're going to exchange that and then just become another cog in the wheel, like all those other men out there working every day. And when you're done, if you haven't married anybody and you don't have any kids and you're 65, who is there to care about you? Who really is there? Your husband's not there. Your kids aren't there, and they're not bringing grandchildren to come bump on your knee. You have made yourself alone, and that is not a fun place to be. Go talk to older people and find out how much they enjoy being alone with no one to care about them. So think about what you're doing. Don't fall into that trap. Decide that you want to be someone who wants to be part of a family, and you are uniquely gifted to be the center of that family. Like Sister Abby said, to care for them, to nourish them, and to grow them. And so do that. I urge you to do that.
And Sister Naomi, what do you have to say to American women?
I should not have been I should not have asked to be the last person. The home is the hub of the family,
Amen.
of the world.
Amen.
And if I were to go and get a job and work 50, 60, or 40 hours a week, who would feed my family the nutritious food that I believe is best for them? Who would teach my children how to read and how to learn for themselves and explore the world and the creation that God has made? And who would just be available to the people outside that need to come into a home and experience the this